Hey, Jason with Lumen here. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that affects everybody. It's called, burning out. Maybe losing interest. Maybe you're having problems with your grind. You might be having issues where you keep making mistakes, and it's not coming out the way you want it to come out. There'll always be something, and the reason being is that as you get better, you progress at a certain rate. Everybody progresses at a different rate. And as you get better, the things that you accepted before, you will not accept. You'll become more meticulous about your end product, and you'll strive to get rid of those problems. Things that you see may very well not be noticed by anybody else. Not meaning that those things that you saw are not important and viable. No one's going to be more critical of their work than the maker themselves. So you have to know, set a standard for yourself and strive for that standard. Yes, steel costs money, but listen, making knives, it's a trade, it's a craft, and there's no school to go to learn how to do it. You have to learn on your own for the most part. You have to learn on your own through YouTube videos, books, but that'll just give you a basis, a blueprint as to where to go. You really are only going to learn by doing it, and when you start doing it, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna screw up. Belts, you have to look at belts as free. Don't save your belts till there's nothing left. To save a 50 grit belt, it's really got 400 grit on it, and you're just taking forever, and you're losing time, and you're burning your hands, burning your blades. You're going to run into all kinds of issues when you start, and you'll be able to work through them. I did. Out of the knives that I've made in the 8 or 9 months that I've been doing this, since I started from never doing it before, I've probably ruined 4 blanks. That's not that much. For me, it really isn't. But I have a background with using machinery and using my hands in machinery, woodworking, and steel's a lot different than wood. But you can't blame the grinder. I used a Craftsman 2x42 junky grinder that was no good, and I cleaned it up and used it. And I used that for a while to make blades until I could earn enough money to buy another grinder, and I bought a KMG. Then that was a whole nother ball game, because I got my grinds very, very, very good on the Craftsman 2x42, and as soon as I got the variable speed KMG, which is like almost the holy grail of knife making world, I started screwing up blades left and right. I mean, blades that I was doing all the time. So I had to learn to use that machine. Now I use that machine, and that machine, I couldn't live without the variable speed because it's such a fantastic machine. So you buy a sheet of 1084, go to New Jersey Steel Baron. Aldo's great. Buy yourself a piece of 1084 at first. It's about 20 bucks, 1.5 inch wide stock. You get 4 feet of it. You could cut out, 8 6-inch blanks out of that. Sorry, my math is usually really good, but so figure out a style that you want, a simple style. Don't go with a crazy style. Don't go with a recurve style. Don't go with anything. Just pick a style. I mean, there's patterns online too that you can do, and there's no shame in that to learn. There's one guy, D Como Custom Knives. Just go to Google and type in knife patterns, and he'll come up. He offers hundreds of designs for free, and pick a very easy design, the simplest one you can, and you could resize it, print it out, put it on a copy machine, resize it to where it's the 6 inches. You take the 8 patterns, you get your bar 1084, wipe it down with acetone, spray it with some spray adhesive, stick all those patterns to it, and then cut them out. You can use a bandsaw, you could even use a hand hacksaw, you can use a grinder. Be very careful with grinders. You got 8 blanks of what you're doing. Make all 8 of those knives. Okay, do the process on all those knives at the same time. Okay, so if you're cutting out blanks, cut out all 8 blanks, because by the time you get to the 8th blank, you're going to have it down pat and you're going to know the best way to cut that stock. Do all 8. Well, you got to profile the outside edges on your grinder, so profile all the outside edges smooth and everything like that. Do all 8. By the time you get to number 8, you're going to have it down. Then do your, scribe your edge and do your edge bevel pre-grind. Clean them all up, wipe them down, and then heat treat all 8 of them. Don't heat treat all 8 of them at one time. You're not going to be able to handle the heat treat of 8 blades, getting them out, keeping them at that ostentation temperature, and going to the quench oil. And by the time you get to your blade number 3, your quench oil is going to be like 500 degrees, and it's not going to be worth it. Then you could temper all of them at the same time. You temper them all, throw them all in the oven, temper them all at the same time. That's out of the way. Now you're to the point where you have a working blank where everything can be done. Coat them all in die chem, scribe out your projected grind lines of where you want to go. Start with your weak side. It's going to take you a little bit to figure out which is your weak side. Like I said, I'm right-handed. My right-hand side you'd think would be my strong side. It's actually my weak side. Then do your strong side grind on all 8 of them. You could also do your weak side and your strong side and then move on however you feel you want to do it. By the time you get to blade number 8, you might screw up blade number 1. Okay. You might screw up blade number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fine. By the time you get to blade number 6 and 7, you're going to start getting it down pat of what you need to do, how you need to move, how things work. When you get to blade 8, you're probably going to have it down pat. The most important thing, and no matter what, is don't give up. The most important thing is finish a knife. You finish it. There's a lot of things that come out of that. One thing that comes out of that, you learn the rest of the process. You learn, how to put handles on. You learn how to carve scales. You learn how to do a lot of different things. You learn what not to do. And then when you put that edge on it and you're cutting stuff with it, you're going to be really excited about it and be like, hey man, I made this. This is mine. And you pick the best one out of the 4 and you keep it. And you keep it for the rest of your career. So you could show people. I keep mine. I show it. I have no shame. It's not perfect. It's a little tiny knife. It's this big. It's a funky design. It wasn't started out to be that design. When I started, it was supposed to be this design. Look at the difference. I had to regrind it. I had to redo everything to make it right. There's no ricasso. I lost the ricasso because my grind was messed up. It's a full flat grind all the way up. It's sharp, it cuts, it's hardened. So with that said, guys, there's no time like the present to get started. Don't be afraid. Repetition is what's going to expedite your learning. But be warned. I'm going to warn you right now. It's something that could take over and consume your mind. Depending on how much you like it or not. When things break or things go wrong, then hey, you figure out what you did wrong and you make the next one better. Alright, this is Jason with Lumen Blades, and guys, get your grind on.